All right, so we are done with our app's entire functionality. Everything is working fine from start to end, from login, registration, showing the products, and all this stuff. Everything is working fine. Now there is only one thing which we'll work. We'll work on common API calling related stuff. So handling the exceptions in API, not in API side, from UI side. Whenever we are making an API call, there could be some exceptions, some errors. It could be network related. It could be 401, right? It could be unauthorized. Maybe token has expired, or it is the page does not, the 404 errors for API. So different kind of errors we can get from API. We just need to handle the errors for it. Hmm. Okay, so what we'll do here, in maybe in services, we are going to create a new service. Let's call it API service, or let's call it API caller, something like this. Okay, we are going to create it as public class API caller, and here we'll have constructor, and let's inject our app state inside this, so we can handle the showing loader and hiding loader from here only. Okay, let's do this. Create and assign a field. Let's have underscore app state. Okay, now inside this we can have a common method to call our APIs. So public async task, let's say make API call, or we can say just call API, call API async, something like this. Now inside this, what we'll have all the operations what we are having on almost all the components. For example, if you go to the home page, this is the first screen which gets loaded. We have this stuff, these two things and this thing. AppState.show loader, products, and then AppState.hide loader. For example, these three things. Now this center section, this is going to be different for each and every call, we could say. For example, let's go to login page. Here, if we come here, we have this AppState.show loader, we have AppState.hide loader, and here we are making this call, and then we are handling the result here, the responses. So we need to make that call API async method a common method which can be used from anywhere, which will have some default or some predefined structure, for example showing the loader and hiding the loader, and then the center section, the middle section between this hiding and showing, that piece of code is going to be dynamic. So we'll make it generic general purpose call, which will be generic of course, and it will have some dynamic callback kind of thing. Okay, so we need a callback. That means whatever API call we are going to call, that we are going to have here. And if we see, all our API calls are async, right? So here in call API async, we can get a parameter as func of task. That means it is a delegate callback, we can say, which returns task. That means this is an async call. We can call it API call, and we are good. Here we'll say, first thing we'll say underscore app state dot show loader. Then we are going to have try catch finally. In finally, we are going to say app state dot hide loader. In catch, we are going to say ex, and then just we'll show alert. So here we'll say await MAUI interrupt dot alert async. Okay, here we can say ex dot message, and then title would be error. Okay, and then in try, here we are going to call this thing whatever we have provided from that side. Here we'll say await API call dot invoke. and we'll check it for null as well, like this. Alright, so whatever we have here, we'll simply return. This should not be nullable. Save, and we are good. Now, from these API calls, there can be two type of exceptions. This is going to handle the general exceptions, but we are calling, we are using Refit client. So Refit gives some nice abstraction to handle the all these exceptions. So here we can have one catch with API exception, which comes from Refit. Okay. Here we can handle Refit related exceptions. Okay. Now what can we have? We can have ex dot HTTP method, content, header, data, lot of things, but we will be using status code. So we will handle the unauthorized case differently, because unauthorized can happen only in two cases. One, when we have not passed the token. That should not happen because we are using mobile app. From here, user can't see the URL, so they won't be able to make the direct calls. And second, 401 could come, unauthorized access exception can come if the token is expired. Okay, we are going to handle the token expired case here. We'll say ex.status code equals the status code is of type HTTP status code dot unauthorized. We are going to handle this case. If this is unauthorized, here we can say token is expired. So we'll show an alert, and redirect user to login page. We'll do this thing here. Okay. So first we need to show the alert. So we'll say await MAUI interrupt dot show, what was that, alert async. We'll say token has expired, you need to log in again. Okay, and then here we'll say login expired as the title. After this alert, we'll simply redirect user. That means we need navigation manager as well here. Let's inject navigation manager, navigation manager, navigation manager. Not like this. We are going to have it as a navigation manager. This is one navigation manager. Create and assign a field, and let's add the underscore here. We have underscore navigation manager. Here we'll simply say underscore navigation manager dot navigate to slash login with replace true. Replace true. We don't want the user to come back to this page. If this, whatever we have done, that required user credentials, so we don't want user to come back to this current page from login page. That's why we will use replace true. Now after logging in, we want user to come back to this page only, from where this exception originated. That means here we need to have our auth state as well. Let's inject auth state as well. Auth state, create an assign field, add underscore auth state. Now let's use this. So here we'll say auth state dot redirect URL from login. Here we are going to say navigation manager dot, not like this, underscore navigation manager dot URI. Okay, so we want user to redirect to this URI after login. And with this, we are good. If that's not the case, if it did not does not come to this if condition, that means it was not unauthorized exception, it was some other exception. We'll simply return from here first, and then here we will do the same thing what we are doing in here. This catch, we'll simply show the ex.message and the error. Now we are good. We'll register this API caller as a singleton in our MAUI program. Dot add singleton API caller. Now we just need to inject this API caller everywhere. Start from the home page. Let's close all first. Close all tabs. Close all. Start from the home page. So component pages home.razor. Here we are going to inject API caller. We'll name it API caller only. And here we don't need to have the show loader and hide loader. We'll simply say await API caller dot call API async. Now here we will simply have our async call. Okay. Now we'll have this products thing here. And after this for each also we are going to have here, because if we don't have it here, it will be outside. Here we have products, we are sure. So we'll do everything inside this only. Save it. This is the approach which we are going to take now. Save it. Okay, we just need to change all. Now on this page, are we using app state? No, we can get rid of this app state. Save it. And we are good. Okay. Let's open all these pages: cart page, help page, login page, manage address, other details, orders, profile, register, and shared. I'm opening all, and we'll see where we need to add one by one all the pages. So here update profile. Let's inject, what's that, inject API caller. API caller like this. Let's come here on initialized, we are good. Update profile async. Here we are doing all this stuff. We don't need to do all this stuff. Instead we'll do await API caller dot call API async. Here we'll simply say async, and then we can have a direct call like this, direct code. All this catch, finally all these things are going to be handled by the this API call API async method only. We are good with this stuff. Save it and let it go. Now here also we don't need auth state now, so we can, sorry, app state, we can get rid of this app state now. Save it. We are good. Close. Save address. Yes, here we need inject API caller, and here also we don't need app state. Let's get rid of app state injection here. We'll come here. Let's add await API caller dot call API async. And here also we are going to have just this simple logic. Whatever we have here, just paste and get rid of this show loader, hide loader, try catch, etc. Save. Let's call this inject API caller. Let's move to the next page. Here we are on change password. Let's inject our API caller and remove app state. Await API caller dot call API async. Same thing. Let's move this logic without try catch directly inside this and get rid of everything else. Alright, save it. Cart button, we don't have any API call. Cart badge, we don't have any API call. Bottom sheet, no API call. Register, yes, we have API call. We'll have this API caller injected here. We'll remove app state. Go to the bottom. Here we have this register async method. We'll say await API caller dot call API async, and let's move this logic to this and get rid of this try catch and all. Save. We are good. Okay. Now profile page here, we don't have any API call. Yep, fine. Orders page here we have API call. Let's get rid of app state. We will not use this. Go to the bottom. On initialize async. Are we getting something? No. In load orders it sync, we are having this logic here. For this, we will simply use our await API caller dot call API async lambda, and in this we will have just this single line, nothing else. Assignment for you: implement proper paging on UI. API side paging is already there. Okay, so load order async, this is fine. API caller, let's copy this, go to order details page. Here also we are having this API call. Remove the app state. Come here, we have this in on initialize async. Await API caller dot call API async, and we are going to have this logic in here. Get rid of these things. Save. Then we have manage addresses. Here also we are having it. Let's get rid of app state. First we have in this load addresses async. We'll say await API caller dot call API async, and we are going to have this single line inside this. Remove this. Then we have this delete address async here. So after this confirmation, here we are going to say await API caller dot call API async. Just move this logic to this. Okay, save it. Cool. API caller login page. Here also we have app state. Get rid of app state, and we have one method here. We'll say await API caller dot call API async, and let's move this logic in here. Save it. Help page, we don't have anything. Cart page, we don't have. We have API call here. Yes, we have API calls. Let's add the API caller here. Are we using app state other than directly calling in the place order? Yes, okay. So let's get rid of app state here. We have API caller. We'll come here. We are getting addresses using the API, and after that we are using it in placing the order, right? Yes. Here let's do await API caller dot call API async. We'll say async, and this logic we are going to have here. But now we are going to have a problem. This thing we were returning from here. Now if we have written here, it will return from this thing. That means it will come here and it will execute these things, which should not happen. So here we have two options. Either we can move these things directly inside this, or we can have a variable here and we can see if we want to continue from here. Okay, so let's have a variable continue after address API call, something like this. By default we'll have true, and we'll have this condition here. If this is true, then only we are going to have these two lines. Okay, and this we are going to set false here. Okay, then we have place order async, and here we are making the API call. We'll say await API caller dot call API async, and we are going to have this entire logic inside this. Okay, show loader, hide loader, we don't need these now. This catch we can have if we want to for these initial first cases. If not, we can get rid of this if you want. Start page, this is fine. We are done. All the pages. Layout, we are not making any call in any of the layout or the shared components. No. After this, we have our services. Web state, we are not making any API call. Auth state, we are not making call. Cart service, are we making any API call in cart service? Nope. Then we have data service, database service. There we don't have any API. So looks like we have done everything. Let's now try to build and run this if everything is still working. App is here. So data loading is working. Let's come back to home. Yes, loader is working. Data is here. Orders, loader is working. View details. Looks like things are working fine. Profile, edit profile. Save changes. All the things are working fine. Okay. Now we just need to see that case if token is expired, then what will happen? Would it work? So for this, what we can do, maybe we can go to our API. Let's go to our API, app settings.development.json. And here, or maybe not in the code, let's go to the service, auth service when we are creating the token. Not auth service, we have a token service for generating the JWT. So here we have this expire in minutes. We can simply this thing. We can say, let's say datetime dot utc now dot add seconds. Let's have it as 10 seconds. This token is going to be expired after 10 seconds. Save it. Let's run the API first. Debug, start without debugging, and then we'll start our API, mobile app. We will log out and then log in again. So with this login, the token will be valid for 10 seconds. And when we go to the back to home page and we'll try to do some operation on profile page or order page, we'll try to do something there. Start the app. Okay, we are here. Let's go to profile, log out. Yes, log out. We are here. Let's log in. Add a temp at gmail.com. Password 123456. Login. Connection failure, that means API is not running. Let me see. API is running. Let's stop and let's see if we have selected the, yeah, the dev tool should be selected. Yes, it is selected. But something is not right. Try again. I'm starting the API again. Then I'm going to start the mobile app, MAUI app. Then we'll see. Maybe we're missing something. Let me know in the comment if you guys know what happened. Okay, so app is loading up. Loading home page. We can see everything. Data came. That means login. Try temp at, what am I doing? Temp at gmail.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Login. Something might have happened. I don't know what happened. We are here. Let let's wait for 10 seconds. Maybe 10 seconds has passed. Not yet. View info. Order item. Go back. Profile. Manage addresses. It was 10 seconds only, right? Expires date time UTC now at seconds 10. Home. What is happening? Orders is not expiring. Expires date time dot UTC now at seconds 10. Let's wait for some time. I'll have a small tea break and then I'll try. Alright, so now let's see. We'll go to orders and it is trying. Let it wait. Something happening. Connection failure. Maybe something is wrong with my internet. Let's go to profile, manage addresses. Yeah, there was some problem with my Wi-Fi connection maybe. So you see, we came here and we can see login expired, token has expired, you need to log in again. That means it worked. If we say okay, now we have a problem. When we say okay, it should have redirected us to the login page, but that did not happen. Let's try in output. Do we have something? Yes. Here it says web view navigation manager has not been initialized. And this is a problem. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe for navigation manager inside our Blazor components that is not initialized. If we are injecting something outside of this Blazor pages directly in the C sharp side, then it does not work. Maybe this is the problem. I'm not sure. So we can think some other way, and then other way could be we can just go to the project. We are in service API caller. From here we are telling this, right? So what we can do, we can maybe have some event setup here in this API caller. Okay, we'll say public event action of string. Okay, we'll say action of string. Let's say navigation request, something like this. All right, we'll define this navigation request. We'll raise this navigation request from here. So we will not inject this navigation manager because it is not working from here. So we'll simply say navigation request dot invoke, and we'll simply pass the string URL, and URL is going to be this login. Okay, Then in this case, we can get rid of this navigation manager from here. Let's remove navigation manager. Remove navigation manager. And let's remove this thing as well. So we will have all these 2 3 lines, these lines of code inside this uh, consumer subscriber of this navigation request change. Okay, not navigation request, let's say navigation requested, something like this. All right, save it. We don't need auth state in this case. Auth state, let's get rid of auth state as well. Okay, now from where we wanted to redirect, so we can simply go to our components and we can go to routes.regex. This is the main initial page which gets executed. So here only we can simply have our code block, and here we can simply have, we can inject our, what was that, API caller, and here we'll say override on initialized. Here we are going to say API caller dot navigation requested plus equals, here we'll say private void on navigation requested, and we will have string URL like this, and on navigation requested we are going to call this method. Here we need to inject our navigation manager as well. Inject navigation manager. Now here we'll say, and we need to inject our auth state as well, because we want to set the redirect URL. So here we'll say auth state dot redirect URL from login. This will say navigation manager dot URI. We need just, so URI will give everything, entire thing, right? Complete absolute URI in string form. So here we'll say navigation manager dot URI dot replace navigation manager dot base URI with the slash. Alright, this is what we have done somewhere, right? We have done it somewhere on a tab bar. Let's quickly verify that this is the correct thing. So navigation manager dot URL dot replace base URI slash, yes, this is correct. All right, now we have this redirect URL from login. After this, we are going to simply use our navigation manager dot navigate to this URL which we got as a parameter, and we'll say replace true. Okay, with this we are good. Save it. Let's start. Let's see if this thing works now. We are here, our app is here. Let's try doing some operation without login. Okay, now let's go to orders page. Login expired. If we say okay, we are on the login page, and after logging in, it should redirect us to the orders page only. So let's try it. temp@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6 login, and we are on my orders page. That means this complete flow is working now. Great, so we are done. All right, so with this we have achieved everything whatever we planned to achieve. We had faced so many issues, we fixed all those things. All right, so I guess that's all for this series. Okay, please like all these videos, share these videos, subscribe my channel. Okay, and do let me know comment if you like this series or not, or what application you want me to build next using .NET MAUI XAML or .NET MAUI Blazor hybrid, or using Blazor for web as well. Okay, I'll be open for the ideas. And yep, that's all for this. I'll be back soon with some other cool videos. Till then, bye bye. Happy coding.